Mahmoud Ahmadinejad Emiradundi, born 28 October 1956, is an Iranian politician who was the sixth president of Iran from 2005 to 2013. He was also the main political leader of the Alliance of Builders of Islamic Iran, a coalition of conservative political groups in the country. An engineer and teacher from a poor background, Ahmadinejad joined the Office for Strengthening Unity after the Iranian Revolution. Appointed a provincial governor, he was removed after the election of President Mohammad Khatami and returned to teaching. Tehran's council elected him mayor in 2003. He took a religious hard line, reversing reforms of previous moderate mayors. His 2005 presidential campaign, supported by the Alliance of Builders of Islamic Iran, garnered 62% of the runoff election votes, and he became president on 3 August 2005. During his presidency, Ahmadinejad was viewed as a controversial figure within Iran, as well as internationally. He has been criticized domestically for his economic policies and alleged disregard for human rights. Internationally, he is criticized for his hostility towards some countries, most notably Saudi Arabia, Israel, the United Kingdom, and the United States and other Western and Arab nations. In 2007, Ahmadinejad introduced a gas rationing plan to reduce the country's fuel consumption and cut the interest rates that private and public banking facilities could charge. He supports Iran's nuclear program. His election to a second term in 2009 was widely disputed and caused widespread protests domestically and drew significant international criticism. During his second term, Ahmadinejad came under fire not only from reformers but also traditionalists in parliament and the Revolutionary Guard, and even from Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, over alleged corruption. Ahmadinejad's dismissal of Intelligence Minister Gholam Hossein Mohseni, and his support for his controversial close advisor Esfandiar Rahim. On 14 March 2012, Ahmadinejad became the first president of the Islamic Republic of Iran to be summoned by the Islamic Consultative Assembly to answer questions regarding his presidency. Limited to 2 terms under the current Iranian constitution, Ahmadinejad supported Esfandiar Rahim's campaign for president. On 15 June 2013, Hassan Rouhani was elected as Ahmadinejad's successor and assumed office on 3 August 2013. Early life. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was born on 28 October 1956 near Gamzah, in the village of Aradan, in Semnan province. His mother, Khanum, was a Sayyida, an honorific title given to those believed to be direct bloodline descendants of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. His father, Ahmad, was a grosso, barber and religious Shia who taught the Quran. He changed his family name from Saborgian or Sabagian to Ahmadinejad in 1960 to avoid discrimination when the family moved to Tehran. Sabah is Persian for thread painter, a once common occupation within the Semnan carpet industry. In 1976, Ahmadinejad took Iran's National University entrance examination. According to his autobiography, he was ranked 132nd out of 400,000 participants that year, and soon enrolled in the Iran University of Science and Technology as an undergraduate student of civil engineering. He earned his Ph.D. in Transportation Engineering and Planning from Iran University of Science and Technology, located at Tehran, when he was the mayor of Ardabil province, located at the northwest of the country. Supporters of Ahmadinejad consider him a simple man who leads a modest life. As president, he wanted to continue living in the same house in Tehran his family had been living in until his security advisors insisted that he should move. Ahmadinejad had the antique Persian carpets in the presidential palace sent to a carpet museum, and opted instead to use inexpensive carpets. He is said to have refused the VIP seat on the presidential plane, and that he eventually replaced it with a cargo plane instead. Also, upon gaining Iran's presidency, Ahmadinejad held his first cabinet meeting in the Imam Reza Shrine at Mashhad, an act perceived as pious. Administrative and academic careers. Some details of Ahmadinejad's life during the 1980s are not publicly known, but it is known that he held a number of administrative posts in the province of West Azerbaijan, Iran. Many reports say that after Saddam Hussein ordered the invasion of Iran, Ahmadinejad joined the army of the Guardians of the Islamic Revolution and served in their intelligence and security apparatus. But his advisor Mojtaba Samareh Hashemi says, he has never been a member or an official member of the Revolutionary Guards, having been a Basija-like volunteer instead. Ahmadinejad was accepted to a Master of Science program at his alma mater in 1986. He joined the faculty there as a lecturer in 1989, and in 1997 received his doctorate in civil engineering and traffic transportation planning. Embassy siege. Shortly after Ahmadinejad was elected president, some Western media outlets published claims that he was among the students who stormed the U.S. embassy in Tehran, sparking the Iran hostage crisis. This claim has been denied by the Iranian government, the Iranian opposition, as well as a CIA investigation on the matter. Early political career. After the Islamic Revolution, Ahmadinejad became a member of the Office for Strengthening Unity, an organization developed to prevent students from sympathizing or allying with the budding Mojahedin Khalq. He first took political office as unelected governor to both Makkah and Khoi in West Azerbaijan province during the 1980s. He eventually became an advisor to the Governor-General of Kurdistan province for 2 years. During his doctoral studies at Tehran, he was appointed Governor-General of newly formed Ardabil province from 1993 until Muhammad Khatami removed him in 1997, whereupon he returned to teaching. Mayor of Tehran in 2003, a 12% turnout elected conservative candidates from the Alliance of Builders of Islamic Iran to the City Council of Tehran. The council appointed Ahmadinejad mayor. As mayor, he reversed changes made by previous moderate and reformist mayors. He put religious emphasis on the activities of cultural centers they had founded, publicized the separation of elevators for men and women in the municipality offices, and suggested that people killed in the Iran-Iraq War be buried in major city squares of Tehran. He also worked to improve the traffic system and put an emphasis on charity, such as distributing free soup to the poor. After his election to the presidency, Ahmadinejad's resignation as the mayor of Tehran was accepted on 28 June 2005. After 2 years as mayor, Ahmadinejad was one of 65 finalists for World Mayor in 2005, selected from 550 nominees, only 9 of them from Asia. He was among 3 strong candidates for the top 10 list, but his resignation made him ineligible. Presidency 2005 campaign. Ahmadinejad was not widely known when he entered the presidential election campaign, as he had never run for office before, although he had already made his mark in Tehran for rolling back earlier reforms. He is a member of the Central Council of the Islamic Society of Engineers, but his key political support is inside the Alliance of Builders of Islamic Iran. He was also helped by support from Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who some described Ahmadinejad as a protege of. Ahmadinejad generally sent mixed signals about his plans for his presidency, perhaps to attract both religious conservatives and the lower economic classes. His campaign slogan was, "It's possible and we can do it." In the campaign, he took a populist approach. He emphasized his own modest life, and compared himself with Muhammad Ali Rajai, Iran's second president. Ahmadinejad said he planned to create an exemplary government for the people of the world. In Iran, he was a principalist, acting politically based on Islamic and revolutionary principles. One of his goals was putting the petroleum income on people's tables, meaning Iran's oil profits would be distributed among the poor. Ahmadinejad was the only presidential candidate who spoke out against future relations with the United States. He told Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting the United Nations was one-sided, stacked against the world of Islam. He opposed the veto power of the UN Security Council's 5 permanent members. It is not just for a few states to sit and veto global approvals. Should such a privilege continue to exist, the Muslim world, with a population of nearly 1.5 billion, should be extended the same privilege. He defended Iran's nuclear program and accused a few arrogant powers of trying to limit Iran's industrial and technological development in this and other fields. In his second-round campaign, he said, "We didn't participate in the revolution for turn-by-turn government. This revolution tries to reach a worldwide government." He spoke of an extended program using trade to improve foreign relations, and called for greater ties with Iran's neighbors and ending visa requirements between states in the region, saying that people should visit anywhere they wish freely. People should have freedom in the pilgrimages and tours. Ahmadinejad described Ayatollah Muhammad Taghi Mesbah Yazdi, a senior cleric from as his ideological and spiritual mentor. Mesbah founded the Haqqani school of thought in Iran. He and his team strongly supported Ahmadinejad's 2005 presidential campaign. 2005 presidential election. Ahmadinejad won 62% of the vote in the runoff poll against Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei authorized his presidency on 3 August 2005. Ahmadinejad kissed Khamenei's hand during the ceremony to show his loyalty. 2005 cabinet appointments. Iran's president is constitutionally obliged to obtain confirmation from the parliament for his selection of ministers. Ahmadinejad presented a short list at a private meeting on 5 August, and his final list on 14 August. The Majlis rejected all of his cabinet candidates for the oil portfolio and objected to the appointment of his allies in senior government office. The Majlis approved a cabinet on 24 August. The ministers promised to meet frequently outside Tehran, and held their first meeting on 25 August in Mashhad, with 4 empty seats for the unapproved nominees. 2006 Councils and Assembly of Experts election. Ahmadinejad's team lost the 2006 City Council elections, and his spiritual mentor, Muhammad Taghi Mesbah Yazdi, was ranked 6th on the country's Assembly of Experts. In the first nationwide election since Ahmadinejad became president, his allies failed to dominate election returns for the Assembly of Experts and local councils. Results, with a turnout of about 60%, suggested a voter shift toward more moderate policies. According to an editorial in the Kargothar, an independent daily newspaper, the results show that voters have learned from the past and concluded that we need to support moderate figures. An Iranian political analyst said that this is a blow for Ahmadinejad and Mesbah Yazdi's list. 2009 presidential election. On 23 August 2008, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei announced that he sees Ahmadinejad as president in the next 5 years, a comment interpreted as indicating support for Ahmadinejad's re-election. 39,165,191 ballots were cast in the election on 12 June 2009, according to Iran's election headquarters. Ahmadinejad won 24,527,516 votes. In second place, Mir Hossein Mousavi won 13,216,411 of the votes. The election drew unprecedented public interest in Iran. 2009 Iranian presidential election protests. As of April 2011, update. The election results remained in dispute, with both Mousavi and Ahmadinejad and their respective supporters who believe that electoral fraud occurred during the election. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei formally endorsed Ahmadinejad as president on 3 August 2009, and Ahmadinejad was sworn in for a second term on 5 August 2009. Iran's constitution stipulates term limits of 2 terms for the office of president. Several Iranian political figures appeared to avoid the ceremony. Former Presidents Mohammad Khatami and Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, who is currently head of the Expediency Discernment Council, along with opposition leader Mir Hossein Mousavi, did not attend the ceremony. Opposition groups asked protesters on reformist websites and blogs to launch new street demonstrations on the day of the inauguration ceremony. On Inauguration Day, hundreds of riot police met opposition protesters outside Parliament. After taking the oath of office, which was broadcast live on Iranian state television, Ahmadinejad said that he would protect the official faith, the system of the Islamic Revolution and the Constitution. France, Germany, the United Kingdom and the United States announced that they would not send the usual letters of congratulation. 2009 cabinet appointments. Ahmadinejad announced controversial ministerial appointments for his second term. Esfand Rahim Mashayeh was briefly appointed as first vice president, but opposed by a number of Majlis members and by the intelligence minister, Gholam Hossein Mozanieh. Mashayeh followed orders to resign. Ahmadinejad then appointed Mashayeh as chief of staff, and fired Mozanieh. On 26 July 2009, Ahmadinejad's government faced a legal problem after he sacked 4 ministers. Iran's constitution stipulates that, if more than half of its members are replaced, the cabinet may not meet or act before the Majlis approves the revised membership. The vice-chairman of the Majlis announced that no cabinet meetings or decisions would be legal, pending such a reapproval. The main list of 21 cabinet appointments was announced on 19 August 2009. On 4 September, the Majlis approved 18 of the 21 candidates, and rejected 3, including 2 women. Susan Keshavaz, Muhammad Ali Abadi, and Fatima Ayurlaw were not approved by Majlis for the Ministries of Education, Energy, and Welfare and Social Security, respectively. Marzieh Vahid Dastierda was the first woman approved by the Majlis as a minister in the Islamic Republic of Iran. 2012 parliamentary elections. Ahmadinejad suffered a defeat in March. May 2012 parliamentary elections with Ayatollah Khamenei's principalist allies winning about 3/4 of the parliament's 290 seats, and Ahmadinejad supporters far fewer.